Lights go up, the crowd's in a buzz. Hawk talk, stop from mighty thud. Voices sharp like a razor blade. Breaking news like a wild cascade. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Host on fire, you can't deny. Hot take sharp with no alibi. Game analysis deep as night. Get ready for an epic ride. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We call the plays before they happen. Feel the rush as the crowd is clapping. Stand tall with your team above. Hawk talk anthem, feel the love. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. Tune in now, it's time to soar. Hawk talk brings us what you're here for. Bold predictions, call it how we see. We're the voice that sets you free. We're the free. Set you free. We're the voice that sets you free.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is Wednesday. It is the 4th day of February in 2026. And on this day in history, I am a little bit perturbed. I am a little bit flustered this afternoon. Why, may you ask? Well, there's this team. There is this team in the NBA that I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Not at all. They multiple times. Why is it so crooked? There we go. Multiple times and in multiple games have basically rolled over and taken a loss. Just rolled over. Didn't even try. They have benched 4 of the 5 starters and didn't play them for rest concerns. Okay. That team is the Indiana Pacers. And I can't say it any differently. I am pissed off at them. This is embarrassing. This is a slap in the face to fans. Last night, the Utah Jazz came to Indiana. The Jazz were only favored by 2.5. There was a good shot. There was a good shot at getting the W last night. And last night, for the second time this year, they benched Siakam, Nembhard, Nesmith, they benched the starters. Played not just the second strings. They started some third string players as well. And it's embarrassing. You know, the Philadelphia 76ers tanked for years, trying to accumulate and get all the higher draft picks to be able to rebuild the team. But they did that, in my opinion, they did it correctly. They didn't roll over and try to lose. The Washington Wizards right now, they're just not a great team. They're all young. It is a young team, very young team. They're just not a great team right now. Everybody's young. They're going to be. Don't sleep on Washington because they will be. Sarr, Carrington, George, they're not bad. They won't be bad. The Indiana Pacers are too talented to be sitting at the bottom, and they have now again rolled over, benched the starters, basically lost on purpose, and too many of these, and you're in danger of losing that first round pick that you're trying to get. They want to be one of the bottom 3 teams in the league so that they have the better shot at the number 1 seed. Now, do I believe one of the bottom 3 teams is going to get picked number 1? Nope. I think the NBA has done a pretty good job in making sure it's a lot more random in the lottery. And if you're not just going to go by standings and you're going to have a lottery position, I mean, think about this. 2/3 of the league make the playoffs. They do not count the play-in as the playoffs, okay? I get that. But in my mind, and in the mind of teams, 2/3 of the league have the opportunity to make the playoffs. If you get to 10th in your conference, you've got a shot. So, when I see a team roll over like I did last night again. Use rest because it was the second night of a back-to-back. And say they're resting. You don't play a darn game again until Friday. Don't give me none of that hogwash about rest. You don't play another game till Friday. It's not rest. It's a slap in the face to your fans that have spent money, that supported you all last year in the run to the finals, that have given you everything, and you're wasting our money as fans by rolling over. No. That is not good enough. Not good enough at all. And I don't understand it. I really don't. Listen, organizations have tanked for a while. But they do it with how they build the roster. They do it with the trades that they make. If you're not going to make any trade at all, remember, getting the number one lottery spot doesn't matter because the bottom three teams all have the same odds. Now, the problem is there's 5 of those teams down there. That's the problem. You have the Kings, the Pelicans, the Pacers, the Wizards, and the Nets. The Jazz are not down there. The Jazz are too good. They made the trade for Jaren Jackson. We'll get into that here in a second. But there is. There is. It is a big thing. It absolutely is. And tanking like that, purposely losing, does not put a good taste in my mouth at all. It just doesn't. And I am not happy about it at all. In any way, shape, or form. I'm not happy about it at all. So, I don't know. Hey, I really don't. Because how can I support something that's willingly wasting my money? The contract that they made with Bally Sports was bad enough. It's a huge money grab, and I'm not doing it. I'm not. I guess I don't need to watch the Pacer games that badly. I'll listen on the radio. Because that deal wasn't great either. In fact, it's really sad. It is. It is really sad what goes on and what's been going on. So for all the fan bases that are struggling, if your team is tanking the correct way, which is by the roster, not by the play on the court, and your players go out there every night and play hard, that's all you can ask. There is such a thing as a talent differential. Pacers don't have that. They started being able to gel and being able to win games, and they're 4-6 in their last 10, and that's a little bit too good. That's a little bit too good. Yeah. So let's jump into let's jump into NBA trade stuff. I got one thing right already. The Utah Jazz made a absolutely beautiful trade. Absolutely beautiful trade. Getting Jaren Jackson from the Grizzlies. Getting Jaren Jackson from the Grizzlies was a huge move by the Jazz. And I love how they played it out. I love what they did. And the Memphis Grizzlies at the same time are starting that rebuild. This is how you tank correctly. They traded away Jaren Jackson. Ja Morant is probably going to be out. They've got Coward sitting there. Ty Jerome just came back from injury. And now you got these young guys coming in. You got Walter Clayton Jr., who is a rookie. You got Taylor Hendricks. They've got forward Kyle Anderson, Georges Niang, a veteran, and 3 future first-round picks. 3 future first-round picks. The Jazz basically flip-flopped their roster, getting Jaren Jackson, Jock Landale, Vince Williams, and John Konkar. I love this trade for the Jazz. I told you they needed to make a move. It was very obvious that they needed to make a move. And I thought this one was fantastic. This one was absolutely fantastic. Now, a trade I had not talked about was a 3-team trade that actually took place on the last day of January between the Cavs, the Kings, and the Bulls. Now, why was this trade big? Because for the Cavaliers, getting this trade to go through actually is what gave them the opportunity to go after James Harden. So on January 31st, the Cavs sent DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings. Dario Saric and 2 second-round picks went to the Bulls, and the Cavaliers got Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. That opened the door for the trade that took place yesterday, where the Cavaliers traded Darius Garland and a second-round pick for James Harden from the Clippers. So they have now swapped DeAndre Hunter and Saric to get Schroeder, Ellis, and Harden. 3 guards. I'm not sure if they're done or not. We'll have to wait and see through the rest of today. But that is where we're at right now. Now, another trade that is going to be very under the radar, but I love this trade for Chicago. The Chicago Bulls traded Nikola Vucevic to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simmons. They get a young guard that just I don't think fit the Celtics way, but I do believe it does help the Bulls backcourt get better. Vucevic was very, very good. For Boston, this is a great trade. And I mean capital G, great trade. It gives that front court a little bit of size. It gives that front court a little bit of oomph, a little bit of girth there in the middle to be able to get some of those rebounds, be able to play a little bit different style of basketball, slow the game down. I love this trade for Boston. So, in one of my basketball leagues, I have Jaylen Brown, and I got offered an absolutely insane offer for Jaylen Brown. I had a ton of reservation about trading away Brown, but then I started thinking about this. It was after this trade. This trade had happened already. And Jason Tatum's coming back. Well, on our app, on Sleeper, it gives you the ranks that they were last year. Well, I played out the points that they got, that Brown got fantasy-wise last year. I played out the points last year. What did he average over the entire year? Well, through the 60 whatever games that he played last year, he averaged 33 fantasy points a game in a season where they had Horford, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum. They've got Vujicic. Peyton Pritchard has absolutely come on. Garza the center. And now Tatum, whether or not he comes back, I don't know. I still wouldn't. If I was Tatum, I'd stay out. I really would. I know you want to help. I know you want to help. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So I had to really think deeply about the trade that I got, the trade offer I got. Because he only averaged 33 points a game. But if he's the star, you need him averaging 40 to, 40, 42. The Celtics could get crowded. I believe they understand that their bench needs to look different than their starting five. They're a good organization. And I love the moves that they've made. They're without Jason Tatum, and they're sitting third place in the East. The Pacers are without Halliburton and lost Turner, and are currently sitting last place in the East. Obviously, the Pacers are not as good of an organization as the Celtics are. So I love the trades. And I did, after looking at all the numbers, if Tatum's back, Brown's production is decent. It's not great. So I ended up accepting the trade. The reality here is this. These teams in the NBA are kind of the same way. If you get that offer, if the Bucks get the offer for Giannis, stop being stupid and just wanting to keep him around. You may not want to lose the guy that's been with you for 12 years, but he doesn't want to be there anymore. He's not interested in going out and putting his body on the line for you anymore. He's been there 12 years. I'm okay with Giannis saying, I want something else. I think he would love to go to a team where he's not the only option. I think he would love to be able to go to a team like Minnesota, like Golden State, like Miami, like New York, where it's not on him. He doesn't have to score 35, 40 points a game. He could actually have a night where he scores 25 to 30, gets 7, 8 rebounds, gets 5 to 6 assists, is all around the best player on the floor, but gets to relax a little bit on how hard he's got to carry a team. I understand that. I don't blame him for any of it. But if the Bucks are going to wait around, you're going to lose value in a trade. And Giannis could just be like, yeah, I don't really want to play again. The Bucks aren't playing for playoff positioning right now. They think they are. They're outside of the play-in. They're now behind the Hornets, who have won 7 in a row. And without Giannis and without any players or assets coming back from Giannis, they're not going to improve. Giannis has to get moved today or early tomorrow, because if this goes down to last second, I'll be the first one to say the teams could start pulling the offers. Lauri Markkanen for the Utah Jazz is available. That is a stretch 4 that a lot of teams would absolutely love to have. He's a very good stretch 4. Anthony Davis, there are trade talks with the Toronto Raptors and the Dallas Mavericks on the trade talks for Anthony Davis. Mavericks, you need a point guard. Whatever you do, get a gosh darn point guard, because Cooper Flagg is not a point guard. Last night, watching the Mavericks versus Celtics, it became very clear. Cooper Flagg is 19 years old, and he's going to be absolutely fantastic. I love how he plays basketball, but he's not a point guard. Don't force him to be something he's not, because your roster construction sucks. Get a point guard, Dallas. Get a guy that doesn't force Cooper Flagg to be the best ball handler on the floor. Give Flagg some breathing room. There's just too much. So if you're the Mavericks, Davis isn't available a lot. I already traded Davis. I had Davis in my fantasy basketball team too. I traded him. Why? He's not giving me anything. You don't get any points while they're injured. In the NBA, you don't get any points or production if they're not playing. Everybody always comments on the potential if this happens. Don't live in the world of if. Live in the world that's factual. You got to take risk sometime. But if it's now no more a risk and more of a, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know if he can ever stay on the floor. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough. When you've got those questions, it's time to move on. It's just time to move on. Seriously. Let him go. So Giannis needs to be traded from Milwaukee. He doesn't want to be there. And they should respect him enough to let him go. The Clippers did with James Harden. And that trade works for both teams. Now, another trade that happened yesterday. A 3-team trade between the Bulls, Pistons, and Timberwolves. Bulls made another move. So, they got Dario Saric from the trade with the Cavs and the Kings. Then, yesterday, they got Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley, and they traded away Dario Saric. And the Timberwolves in this whole deal basically just got cap space. Now, here's the thing about this trade. It opens up Minnesota's cap a good amount. Getting rid of Mike Conley was huge. It was. The Timberwolves are one of the teams going after Giannis. What offer are the Timberwolves figuring out right now? It's not Gobert. Is it Julius Randle and Naz Reid? Who are the Timberwolves putting together in this package? Because a Giannis, Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards Minnesota Timberwolves team sounds pretty gosh darn scary, even in the Western Conference. But what offer are they getting? That's the question. That's the question. It could be huge. It could be absolutely huge. I love the idea. I love the idea of bringing in Giannis if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's a bold move. Now, the trade yesterday, the Timberwolves swapped first round picks with the Pistons. The Pistons are planning on being the number one team in the NBA. Technically, so are the Timberwolves. But the Pistons, in their mind, getting the Timberwolves pick will be a few picks earlier because the Pistons believe they're going to win the East and be in the NBA Finals. So in their mind, they're getting the Timberwolves pick that's going to be, 6 to 10 spots earlier, they think, to be able to rebuild everything. But the Timberwolves got cap space. The Pistons got Kevin Huerter, which is a great get for the Pistons, and Dario Saric. Two players that can stretch the floor even more. So Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham are going to take care of the middle of the floor. Robinson, Huerter, Saric, everybody else is supposed to stand out at the three-point line, wait for the kick out, and just swish the three. That's their job. Now, if you're the Bulls, you got guard Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley, and Anthony Simmons now. I like it. Jaden Ivey and Anthony Simmons, I like those gets a lot. Mike Conley is a veteran presence. Is it enough to change what the Bulls can do? We'll have to find out. But I do know if you put those three guards on the floor at the same time, you're running. I do know their bench play in the backcourt will be better. So I like it. I like it a lot. So there's some of the trades. There's the trade reaction. Smaller trade that happened, the Blazers got a guard. Watched him play last night against the Suns. Vic Krejci for Duop Reith and 2 second-round picks. They sent him over to the Hawks. The Blazers are a team to watch. And here's why. They have all the draft capital. They have all the draft capital. They have the they also have the most youth to be able to trade to the Bucks for Giannis. I think Giannis would love Portland. I do. I think Giannis would love Portland. So I think it would be a good move. I'm looking here, just popped up. The Bulls are already shopping Mike Conley again, so they're going to make another move. I like it. I like it. The Bulls aren't being silent. In the last week in our fantasy basketball league, there's been 5 trades in the last In the last 6 days, there's been 5 trades in our fantasy basketball league. I've got a couple. I got a couple team managers that I have to replace at the end of the year, but most everybody else is active in learning how to be able to play this style of fantasy basketball, and that's what makes it fun. There are teams just like in the NBA. There are teams in fantasy basketball that should tank. They've got holes to fill. They should take the picks. They should absolutely take the picks to be able to get their team reset for next year. I want to throw this out there. There are a good amount of rookies. I mean, there are some rookies that are absolutely fantastic this year. Okay? Absolutely fantastic. Cooper Flagg was the obvious number one. Cooper Flagg was the obvious number one. Now, I will say this. With being the obvious number one, it does pose a potential issue. It does. And I'm looking at the rookies right now. And it's good. It's good. So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look this up here. If you get a rookie right now, Keontae George out in Utah would have been a great pick. Alexander Sarr was a really good pick. You get one of these young players in fantasy basketball. It does the same thing that it does to an NBA team. I actually got somebody I got to lock in right now from a game that was played earlier today, but nonetheless. So, here we go. There we go. All right. So when you look at everything for the entire season, and you look at the league leaders for rookies, Cooper Flagg is number one. Con Knuppel is number 2. Derek Queen, number 3. BJ Edgecombe, number 4. Fears, number 5. Coward, 6. Bailey is 7. Igor Demon, one of the rookies from the Nets, is 8. Maxime Reynaud is 9. Trey Johnson is 10. Caleb Love, 11. Harper, 12. And then you've got a lot of role players underneath that. Okay? These guys in the top 5, I mean, even really the top 7, but definitely the top 5, 6, can change the outlook of the team. Jeremiah Fears is a very underrated, very, very underrated. Derek Queen, same, very, very underrated for how he plays. As a rookie, if you can get 25 points a game as a rookie, it was successful. That draft pick was successful. Most rookies, you're looking at year 2. And the rookies in year 2 tend to come into their own a little bit more and play a little bit harder. They know what's going on. So it's the same thing. But if you can get two of those top 5 guys, and this year's draft, these drafts are going to get better and better. The product on the floor for college basketball is improving with the NIL. I said the NIL is going to hurt college football more than it's going to hurt college basketball. College basketball, it is helping because they don't want to be one and done. They can make $1 million, $2 million, stay in college, and it gives them that ability to make some money and actually be ready to come into the league. And they're more well-rounded and a better basketball player. In football, it's free agency now that you're talking about a lot of tampering. Tampering accusations are going on between top-end colleges, and that is never good, ever. I hate tampering. You guys know this. So in football, it kind of, has it leveled the parity? Oh, absolutely. That part of it, it's done. But the backside of this, the downside of it is a lot bigger than in basketball. In basketball, yes, does it give more parity? Absolutely. But it betters the product on the field because more experienced teams are now playing basketball together. And this year, basketball is a lot of fun. The NCAA men's tournament is going to be absolute fire because you've got experienced teams that are ready to rock and roll. And the NBA gets to draft those players that are experienced, that have actually been coached for 2 years or 3 years instead of 1. And they're ready to come into the NBA, play a regular setup, play a season in a constructed team, being part of the solution for trying to win in that organization. That is what you are going to get. This draft, there is a lot of opinion out there. And I would agree. The top 15 picks in this draft will have legitimate opportunity of being a rookie of the year. It's going to depend on fit, placement, etc. But there are 15 guys that could be rookie of the year. The top 2 still have the edge on everybody in most people's opinion, but it's a deep NBA draft. Why? They're staying in school. They're actually becoming true basketball players, not ISO one and done, beat a guy that you were better than anyway players. That's what's happening. And I absolutely love it. It's great for basketball. The Oklahoma City Thunder showed you getting a bunch of picks, accumulating a bunch of picks, hitting on all the picks, can give you the success at the top that you want. Being great consistently for a 5-year stretch is vitally important. The Thunder have been without Williams. I understand it's not SGA. But do you guys forget what Jalen Williams did through the playoffs and in the NBA Finals? Do you forget what he means to this team? He's been injured a ton. Hartenstein's been injured. They're still number 1 in the West. They have built the team. The nucleus is strong. I believe the Hornets could do the same thing. The Hornets need a Hartenstein. Badly. I'm still looking for the Hornets to make a move. They could be the team that go gets Mark Kakin from the Jazz. Wouldn't shock me at all. The Hornets need to make a move. But the NBA, and it shows up even in fantasy, you have got to be willing to make the moves, take the risk. I traded away Jaylen Brown. Is there some question in the back of my head? Duh. Of course there is. It's hard to trade away a star player. It's hard for the Mavericks to trade away Davis, the Bucks to trade away Giannis. Ja Morant with the Grizzlies should be an easy trade. The Pacers should at least make one move. Save cap, get rid of cap, get an opportunity to get 2 first-round players in that top 15. That's what I would love for the Pacers to do. Get younger. Get players that can come in and fit a different role. Watch for the teams the rest of these 2 days. Ah! Holy smokes! Holy smokes! It wasn't the Raptors. It was not the Raptors. Oh my goodness. The Dallas Mavericks. 2 minutes ago, the Dallas Mavericks are trading Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton. He's got the expiring contract. At the end of this year, his contract is expired. Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Milwaukee Graham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first-round picks, and 3 second-rounders. Dude, the Wizards. The Wizards. So when healthy, I can't believe it's the Wizards. The Wizards snuck in. A team that's at the bottom loves their draft picks. They've built the team. I've told you. I said at the beginning of the year, the Wizards are a team. Watch out. They have built the team. They've got the young nucleus. They've traded away some older players. They've now got Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Don't look now. The Wizards are building a team. Your starting 5 are now Alexander Sarr, Anthony Davis, George. Then you've got, my guess is going to be Carrington and Trae Young. That could be a very fun starting 5 if they're healthy and if they're on the floor. Holy cow. That's one heck of a trade. That is a huge trade. Don't be afraid to make the move. You just got 2 first-round picks. The Mavericks just reset their cap issue. Middleton out. Middleton has got 1 year left. They may still flip him. They may not be done. They may still flip him. At least they got players that are going to be on the floor now. That's helpful for the Mavericks. Wow. Getting ready to close it down. Go talk about the NBA or NFL for a little bit. And the NBA gives us this trade. Absolutely love it. The Wizards get Anthony Davis. Yo, Pacers, take a look. Being willing to make a move. FYI, the Wizards are right next to you in the standings. And they just traded away 2 first-round picks to get Anthony Davis. I'm done with you. Make a move. Give us a reason to keep supporting you. Listen, Wizards fans have got to be thrilled. Wizards fans have got to be thrilled. And in the Eastern Conference, let's be real here, guys. The Eastern Conference, Anthony Davis is not going to be beat up like you are in the Western Conference. You're not playing Joker. You're not playing Ayton. You're not playing Wembanyama. You're not playing Rudy Gobert or Zubac all the time. The Eastern Conference has a lot softer centers, a lot more shooting centers in the Eastern Conference. Wow. Wow. That's awesome. The Jazz are below the play-in. They make a move for Jackson. The Washington Wizards are sitting down, the second worst team in the East, and they make a move for Anthony Davis, trading away part of the future. This is great. Not being content just because your record says you're not great right now. I told you guys on Monday, I said the Jazz are the most confusing team. They score a ton of points. They're the fourth best scoring team in the Western Conference, but they're the worst team in the NBA defensively. They're fun to watch. They knocked off my Pacers last night. It was fun watching them do it. It was also royally frustrating, but it was fun. And now the Mavericks kind of get to reset. They get to build around Cooper Flagg. Watch for Daniel Gafford to still get traded. Watch for Gafford to get traded. It's Wednesday. We have 25 hours. 25 hours and 6 minutes until the trade deadline. The trade deadline is tomorrow, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. Wow. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. This is proof. The Raptors and Mavericks are talking about a trade. The Wizards swoop in there, get Davis. Watch for the Blazers. The Blazers, I watched that game last night between the Blazers and Suns. Watch the Blazers. They've got the pieces. They've got young talent they can trade. They got assets and capital they can trade. Watch for the Blazers to all of a sudden swoop in there at the end, make a move for Giannis, because the Blazers are in the play-in and they believe they can compete with their young roster. Klingon is good. And honestly, Milwaukee, if you're able to trade and get Advija, I would do it. If I'm the Blazers, I am not trading Sharp whatsoever. I'm not trading Holiday, and I'm not trading Klingon whatsoever. And I'm probably wanting to keep Jeremy Grant. Everybody else could easily be moved. Everybody else could easily be moved if you can get Giannis. Wow. I love it. I love it. All right, we got to talk football. We got 5 minutes. We got to talk some football. So number one, Mike LaFleur is going to call plays for the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, he has no clue who his quarterback is going to be. So we will have to see what happens there. Matt Nagy is the offensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants with John Harbaugh. That is a great hire for the Giants. I love that hire. Dude, John Harbaugh with Matt Nagy, Kevin Stefanski with Jeff Albrook, both of those right there are fantastic. You guys know I love Robert Saleh with Brian Daboll. And I'm waiting to see who Clint Kubiak gets. Joe Brady got Jim Leonard. Some really smart hires. Some very, very smart hires at the better position, the better coaching positions. Now, I do love the Jonathan Gannon hire. You guys know this. For the Packers, I said that was a great hire for the Packers. So we're waiting to see what Kubiak does after the Super Bowl this weekend for the Raiders. Waiting to see how the rest of everybody shakes out. But there is a very, very interesting hire. Aaron Glenn hired Frank Reich as his offensive coordinator. Frank Reich. Frank Reich? Why? Why? He was the coach of Stanford last year. I thought he should have stayed in college. I really did. He looked young last year. He looked a lot. He looked better. He really did. He looked better last year watching him on the sideline for Stanford. But why are you going to bring in an old offense? What? I don't get this one. Now, I hope it works. Don't get me wrong. I hope it works, and I hope I'm wrong. But, and I understand, I do understand the Jets have to make moves, and Aaron Glenn is under a lot of pressure. But I don't get this one. I don't. I just don't get this one. Why would you make that? Is he all that was left? Is he all that was left? That's all that I wonder. Did nobody else want to go to New York? Was nobody else willing to take that job? That's what I got to think. I don't get it. I don't get that one. That one I don't understand. But we'll have to see if it works out. If it doesn't, you're going to know pretty quick. You're going to know pretty quick. All right. Well, what a way to close out the game. What a way to close out the day. Woo! That'll work. That'll work. A trade. Live on here. Absolutely freaking fantastic. All right. I will get to some baseball. Hopefully tomorrow. I will get to some baseball. I'll tell you what. This year could be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we'll take a look at baseball. Hopefully tomorrow a little bit. Didn't end up getting into the Super Bowl like I was planning today. That's okay. We can do it tomorrow. That's all right. We can do it tomorrow. Nonetheless, guys, it's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Middle of the week. Make it the absolute best day that you possibly can. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your afternoon. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and it'll be right before the trade deadline, so this could be pandemonium tomorrow. We could have multiple trades go live while I am live. That is awesome. I am so here for it. Hopefully we get a couple more things that happen today, as just like in the NFL, a huge shakeup is always good for the league. Stars moving around when they've been one place for a long time and they move to another one shakes up the league enough where it makes it not stagnant. Anthony Davis is now in the Eastern Conference. He can destroy the Eastern Conference forwards. I'm just saying. He's bigger and stronger than most all of them. So, yeah, that's it. I'll just keep going if we keep staying live. So I'm going to get out of here. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the podcast with a friend. As always, I deeply appreciate it. Keep your eye on that NBA trade ticker. I will talk about everything that happens between now and tomorrow at 1 o'clock when we go live tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk. I'm out. See you tomorrow.